Let's go ahead and kill the Rippers, which I believe their name is Rippers. We can go ahead and, oops, let's go ahead and poop into the fuck you bins. Which I believe Grant Kirkhope has had to talk about this before. Like, I think in an interview, like, they said they had to change it initially because it, like, Nintendo, like, got mad at them, like, hey, that just sounds like fuck you, and they had to re-record it, and it still sounds like fuck you. I've thought that since I was a kid, before I knew what fuck you was. When our lives reset, whenever we stop playing, which shouldn't be a surprise because this is a video game. And we're full up on all of our pickups, which is nice. So we should be good. Did that reset our fuck you bins? No, they did not. We are good to continue pooping into the fuck you bins, who are very, very thankful for our wasteful byproducts. I guess wasteful byproducts isn't. Hey, I saw that you went. Oh, there's no point in chasing after one egg. We like. Oh, God, what do you call it when you bounce a basketball off the rim? Rebound? No, there's like a oh you rimmed it, my man. You gave the basketball. It got the rim. I don't know. Yeah, it's like, oh, do you really think they'd say fuck you? Like, yes? Based on everything we know about Rare, I do 100% believe that if you could, you would sneak just a wee little FU into a kid's game if you could. I mean, you put in a racist Ice Cube, and Banjo probably says, like, wanker at some point. So, I mean, we believe it, Kirkhope, baby. We would believe it. Yeah, there's the big penis in Banjo-Tooie. Yeah, Pterodactyl Land, the penis platform that you gotta ride across. Never forget the penis platform. Oh yeah, the clocks with no hands, which I'm pretty sure was like a limitation of the N64 in some way. They didn't want to animate it. I bet they could have animated it. But they're probably. Oh my god, that did not work out the way I thought that would at all. Because I bet they could have overlaid like an animation on top of like the static clock face. Maybe they ran out of time. Maybe they had a animated texture of some sort and couldn't get it to work. Who knows? I know a lot of Banjo-Kazooie has a lot of. Oh my god, the camera is really screwing with me now. Yeah, Grunty. It's something like that. I know Banjo-Kazooie does some weird stuff with the textures, like that has much larger textures than the N64 could technically use, but it dumps its RAM in like a weird way that allows it to use these weird large textures. I think that's a thing. Maybe my brain's making that up. I don't think it is because I wrote a paper about that at one point, and oh my god, look at the little baby shock spring pad. That's very cute. Not quite? Okay. I'm glad that you know, because off the top of my head, that's all my brain was able to scrounge up, is that it's something with like weird big textures. Texture size is the same, but they spit them out in tiny chunks. Okay, now that's interesting. That time it wasn't the camera. I just took my hand off my controller to move the hair on my head into a more favorable position. I'm glad that you just knew that off the top of your head, because I wrote a paper about game engines and programming at one point, and I used that in my paper. And of course, you know, why would I ever need to remember that? Apparently, my brain doesn't think I need to remember that. And is there anything we need to open up for the pumpkin? I'm not 100% sure, but I think that there's a gate on the well over here. So I'm just gonna make sure that's open before we become a pumpkin, and then have to waste our time coming back here just in case the gate is in fact closed. Nope, there's no gate. We're all good in the hood. Let's become a pumpkin. Becoming a pumpkin. That's nice and Halloween-y. I was thinking about like, oh man, I should stream something for like October, even though like, you know, October's we're like a third of the way into October now. Because I had been thinking about streaming Castlevania Symphony of the Night, because I have never played the game. And thought a blind stream of that could be pretty fun. Oh, and the texture's messing up in the background. That happened last stream with the water. But I don't know if we'll end up playing Symphony of the Night so soon. It'd be very cool to do for an October-y, Halloween-y thing, but imagine that game's pretty long and it might spill into November and December. We'll feel out the space. We'll see what happens. But for now, at least we have Mad Monster Mansion to sate our Halloween desires. And that's it. Just one Wonder Wing feather. Okay. Well, whatever. Just become a pumpkin. Oh, yeah, the pre-rendered, the textures. Oh, I should have stayed in there and listened to what Mumbo said he was proud of pumpkin, and then something about pumpkin soup. We tried hooking up an N64 to a HD TV. I actually did used to have my N64 hooked up to an HD TV. It was a very early one, and I always played in 4:3, and it wasn't a particularly large HD TV. It was a very early one. Like, it had one HDI port in the very back, and that was supposed to be like a super cool, like, look at this cool new thing, an HDMI port. I don't know why I'm doing this so carefully. We have plenty of room to bounce around on. But yes, the textures in some N64 games are, they are not very large. They don't look bad, but they're not very large, and as a result, end up looking bad on blown up screens. Which was actually when I was blowing this up, you know, for the when I was up-resing the game, I was considering using one of those texture filters, and I kind of played around with it. And some of them I felt the textures looked a little weird, so I just went with OG textures instead of worrying about like a texture filter or something. I probably should have played around with it a bit more. But c'est la vie, as I think the saying goes. I don't 100% know because don't know a lot about French stuff. I just know enough to know that c'est la vie is French, and that's probably how you use it. It's like oh, whatever, I think. That's all I got. I can't believe you went in there. Now wash your hands, filthy bear. Well, look what you did. You made me get hit by one of your skeleton buddies. We got hit by a boner. Thanks a lot, Grunty. I mean, that's ultimately what she wants. She wants us to get a big face full of boners. So that's what Grunty wants. She wants us to meet death at the hands of the boners. Some poignant silence for boners. The pumpkin does, in fact, have no hands, and I was unable to wash. Oh, I forgot to get the jiggy from the stupid thing. I was even thinking about it, that I needed to grab the jiggy from the, gutter. I suppose we'll have to climb back up to the top of the mansion and do that again. As soon as I make this jump, the pumpkin keeps getting stuck on the edge for some reason. We'll go ahead and just deal with the well first. Can I? No, I shouldn't go in through that way. I should probably fall from the top so we can get anything that we would have to fall for. I don't think there's anything that we particularly need to fall into, but whatever. We'll just fall down as a pumpkin and do it. Yeah, because I believe you can do this as Banjo-Kazooie. Just hop down here and swim down here, but I always like to do this as a pumpkin just because it's easier as a pumpkin. You don't have to worry about, like, breathing, and it's much easier to avoid these whip cracks or, what are the names? Whip cracks and, are they just called whip cracks and whiplash? No, they're not whiplashes. I think it's just whip cracks. Whiplash, they might. Maybe like whip crack and thornlash. Don't 100% remember. GameCube game. Yeah, GameCube games can look amazing. They look so good. They are the whiplashes. Okay. So the whip cracks are the probably the ones in Clanker's Cavern, or inside of Clanker, I guess. Those are the red ones are the whiplashes. So these might be the whip cracks because I think they have different names. But who knows? Maybe my brain's playing a practical joke on me. Because as we've seen, my brain, if nothing, it could be described as a practical jokester. And I think we might be able to get the jiggy if we just walked inside of the the little gutter. Oh, what do you call those? The gutters are the things at the top, but I think there's a different name for the pipes that run down from the gutters. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't own a house, and the only time I've ever had to deal with these was at my grandparents' house that they sold years ago, that I haven't seen in years. So I don't know the names of these. And of course I fall down. Well, since I've already managed to biff it, let's just go inside and see if we can get the things that we need in here. So I think there's some notes, and there's the Jiggy. Jiggy's too high for us to jump. The Jiggy is just barely too high for us to jump up to. A rain gutter or surface water collection channel. Okay, so maybe the gutters are the pipes, but then what are the things running along across the top of the things? I think those are also gutters. They might just all be gutters. Surface water collection channel. Yeah, that's the perfect name. It's such a tight marketing name. Good job, focus groups. Thanks. I mean, that was before focus groups and capitalism went super nuts. I mean, capitalism's always been crazy, am I right? But now we got focus groups, and you got your scrum meetings, and you got all the stuff. And now we're gonna go ahead and just use the same animation for flushing yourself down the toilet to acquire our 9th Jiggy. Really? Wow, we've really cleaned up this place. I forgot that we were able to go through this. Establish communism immediately. Agreed. Let's do it. We're over capitalism. Let's just scoot that under the rug. It's had its run and it's done. It's time for the proletariat bureaucracy. Bourgeois? Those are words that I was able to summon out of the back of my head, not remembering what the proletariat is. So there we go. And you know what? This is going back a bit, but I've been playing this entire time with my Switch controller under the desk, like I said I wouldn't. But I haven't had any problems, so hey, if it works, don't complain about it. Don't complain about the gift horse mouth. He is very sensitive about it. There's an entire show about the gift horse and his sensitive mouth. Available on Netflix. That was a very good joke, I know. My table is very faulty. It's not blocking my Bluetooth signals enough. I should get a much thicker, more like aluminum and lead like coated table to make sure that it blocks these weird, disgusting Bluetooth signals. I should have stuck with IKEA. IKEA would have hooked me up. They would have put like some yummy meatballs and some lingonberry sauce in here, and then nothing would have worked and everything would have started to smell bad after a couple days. And that's the way we want our furniture, damn it. That's how we do it in America with our wonderful Swedish? I think IKEA's Swedish. Our Swedish brethren who arm us, not with weapons, but with something much better than weapons that America is lacking in. Unlike weapons, America's got enough of those, but it supplies us with $20 desks that a college kid can use for 5 years, and then whenever they are like, oh, maybe I'll buy a new one after I get a couple paychecks from work, and then they move it out of their apartment and it just kind of falls apart, and you go, oh, I guess I'll just deal without a desk for a little bit, I suppose. Continue to live your life. Sorry for all the coughing, like I mentioned, I'm just getting over being sick. I have a slight cough going, but some of these coughs are, my throat gets a little itchy from all the talking, and I just gotta cough it out. Some of those coughs are involuntary, so I apologize. Ooh, that's still a nice. Okay, I don't understand the roasted nuts segment, but I can agree that it's probably bad. So that's also a much cheaper solution, is to just wrap it in the aluminum. Yes, Matan, we can follow you on the keys. If you know what Matan's going to do, you can actually go ahead and play ahead of him. Like, I'm gonna wait for him to pick a key, and I'm gonna slam down on it before he Oh, I picked the wrong one. Yeah, if you know which key Matsan's going to play, you can go ahead and slam down on it before he does. But I don't have this memorized off the top of my head. I've just seen speedrunners do it, and it's very impressive whenever they just like... Matsan's like, can you follow me on the keys? And then they're just like, yeah, I can, moron. It's a conspiracy-resistant table. The big G won't be able to read the thoughts of my table. And oops, I just locked onto the wrong segment. Let's go ahead and hit these black keys. Oh, it's a classic era YouTube joke. Okay, no wonder I didn't understand it, because I was like, roasted nuts? Aluminum? I guess you would wrap roasted nuts in aluminum when you roast them in the oven? Fire? Wherever you roast nuts? You know, the Illuminati should love aluminum. It's part of their name, almost, if you pronounce it as lazily as I do. The Aluminum-nati. Yeah, they'll be trying to get the thoughts on my table all day. And please... Oh, apparently I didn't hit anything that time. Oh, yeah, they'll be so mad at the table. I'll just be like an accessory at that point. They'll be like, ooh, you stopped us from reading your table's thoughts. Big jerk. We needed those. But the table is where the real fury will lie. Where is the... Have we hit the grunty switch in this level? I don't believe we have. Where is the grunty switch in this level? Is it on the top of the rafters? I think it's on the top of the rafter. If the grunty switch isn't on the rafters in this church, then I have no idea where it is off the top of my head. And this is going to be a fun search, because this is our last Jiggy. And we're about to get our last note. So I believe the last honeycomb and the grunty switch, witch switch, are up here. We got all the notes, we got all the jiggies. The last two things should be up here, I believe. I don't remember if we need to fly to get the, well, obviously we need to fly to get up here. Please get unstuck from the bottom there. I don't remember if we need to fly to get... Oh, okay, we probably could have jumped and gotten this, but let's go ahead and just... I was gonna fly and get it, but the flying was not agreeing with me any longer. So luckily, it all worked out. Now let's just go ahead and traverse this very carefully, because I don't want to fall down. And I've been having camera issues, and also motor control issues, staying on things, I say, as I start to speed up and start jumping towards the witch switch. Why is Bobbles grammatically incorrect? What does he say? I wasn't actually 100% paying attention. I just know he says something along the lines of, "You got all the notes in the world. Good job, buddy. If you're playing the Xbox 360 version, available now on the Xbox 360 and also the Xbox One 360, you don't gotta do this. You can just die and your notes will stay with you." Oops, that did not work out the way I thought it did. Oh, he says on this world. Interesting. I've never actually noticed that. I don't pay enough attention. I wonder if that's like just 100% grammatically incorrect, or if maybe like in jolly old England across the pond, if saying like on this world would be correct, because it seems like the kind of thing that's like, hey, that sounds wrong, but then like you know, English people will be like, you know, oh, this is the right way and you guys are wrong. But maybe it's just a grammar issue. Both are, I would say, just as likely as each other. Let's see, and we got everything in the world. Cool. I just wasn't 100% sure. Like to check before I just, you know, eject myself from the world, even though I just said 100%. Oh, you are in jolly old England. Good! Good. Oh, I forgot to become a pumpkin and do the pumpkin thing I needed to do. Let's do that. Actually, wait, I have to open the gate before we can do the pumpkin thing. Let's not do that. I'm glad that you live in the jolly old England and knew this for us, because I would have never known. Let's not die. Please rat-a-tat-tat as fast as you can, so we can get some health and not die. I don't know why I didn't come over here and open this before we started the level. I guess I just had a brain fart and almost forgot about it. I'm actually I'll play this a little sneaky and see if I can steal some honey from the hive. And actually, just out of interest, because I'm not 100% sure, does this kill the bees? Oh yeah, you can kill the bees. They die like one at a time. Yeah, cool. You can kill bees like that. I thought you would just be immune to them. It probably uses way more golden feathers than you'd probably want to spend on just killing bees, especially since they don't give you health after you kill them, but it's very interesting. Let's get Mumbo to give us the hookup. That's very interesting that they have that little window there for the pumpkin to pass through. I wonder if it's possible to get through here with the gates closed or something, and then you need it for the pumpkin to get in through, or if that's just a convenience thing, just in case you forgot to open one of... Well, actually, wait, can you get back there as Banjo without opening that gate? Maybe there's a way to jump it, or like ramp it somehow that I'm... Oh, excuse me, ow. Man, my throat did not agree with me for a hot second. Maybe there's a way to get past here. Oh, you know what it probably is? It's probably you get on top of the mansion, you can just hop over there with opening the gate. So they had to put in that window as a fail-safe, where if you became the pumpkin, you could escape. I mean, I guess at that point, the gate to the maze you unlock from the inside, so you would just have to go turn back into Banjo, and then it'd be fine. But I guess they put that there as little convenient things. Rippin' bees. Rippin' bees indeeds. Let's go ahead and just avoid some. Oh no, the Ripper's slightly faster than us. That could have been bad. God, I really love the pumpkin transformation, even though it's, you know, its functionale is that it's small, which is the functionale of basically every single transformation in the game is, oh, it's small and you can fit into a thing that Banjo's too fat for. But I enjoy our pumpkin friend. Oh god, this room is always so weird, just the Mumbo on the overworld that you have to use to untransform and then transform back just to ground pound a thing. It's a very interesting and strange decision. Instead of just giving you like some kind of switch that the pumpkin would have been able to hit, which probably would have made more sense, but maybe they don't have switches you can just step on in this game, and they didn't feel like programming them just for this bit. It seems interesting that the easier solution, though, is to stick a Mumbo in here. Like, I understand, like, programming-wise, that, like, oh, yeah, you know, we have a thing that works, let's just go ahead and use it instead of programming a new thing, would be the easiest solution to the designers. Would it actually? Well, assuming that adding in this Mumbo wasn't very difficult, assuming that adding in this Mumbo wasn't very difficult and didn't, have some weird, like, testing things that were unique to adding in a new Mumbo, it would be the better solution. I mean, I guess if you had added the, you know, a switch that you can just step on that activates, assuming that that's nowhere else in the game. Oh, wait, it is! There is switches that you can step on and activate, so that probably would have been a better solution than just putting a Mumbo in there. But hey, it's weird and interesting to have a Mumbo in there, so it's fine. I don't know. I was just thinking about, like, what would be easier to test? You know, sticking a Mumbo in a place or designing a button you can step on? And I'm guessing just sticking a Mumbo in there, assuming the Mumbo doesn't have, like, a bunch of crazy test conditions you'd have to do. Yeah, they probably share the same code, but adding one in a new place you'd have to regression test that and garbage like that. And let's go ahead and take this very difficult, I was gonna say take this weird path across to see what's up, because I think there might be a Brentilda back there, but now we've died for the first time. Congratulations, everybody! We died in Banjo-Kazooie, and I'm probably going to waste